So I'm going to share the way of animating a work cycle using Norman rig. And keep in mind that there are many ways, different ways of animating work. And for this one, once if you're using a Norman rig, you will have to uh, show controls. So if you click this one, you will be able to uh, make controls visible. So for this exercise, I'm not going to, oops, excuse me. Forgive me for my phone ringing. So for these ones, I'm going to only see not the hand controls, but only leg controls and then hip control. And I'm not going to worry about the arms yet. I'm not going to animate arms yet in the beginning. And also, if you notice that this is actually the foot is set up to FK controls. So we have to switch that to IK. So in order to do so, you have to show, you have to be able to see the all extra control. So there you can switch the foot control from FK to IK, and then when you see 0, oops, excuse me again. Okay, excuse me again. It means it's getting close to the time uh, for me to leave for the school. And so for now, where was I? And you can switch to FK to IK using this. And then because it's absolutely easier to use IK control to animate the feet and legs to animate well. And then once you do that, once you switch the control from FK to IK, you will be able to see all these controls that you need for animating work. And then I have to say, although this is very simple, I have to say, I must say, this is better. It's simpler, but it's more effective and better to animate work. It's pretty good, well set up rig. And also, if I click this one, I can hide the parts of the bodies. And for these ones, I'm going to also hide all the arms because I just want to focus on the this part and the hips and the I can even hide if I want to trunk and the head as well, but I'm not going to go that far. But I just hide the arms because I'm not going to animate arms in the beginning unless I finish the hips and the legs and the feet first. And usually two steps that we need to uh, animate the work cycle takes 24 seconds, usually 1 second for two steps. Uh, so I adjust the time slider from frame 1 to frame 25, and I'm going to animate work cycle within this because I'm starting from frame 1 to be 24 frames per second. I have to stop. I have to animate until frame 25. So usually, and also I'm going to use where was that? This Richard Williams is work analysis. I'm going to use this one from his book, Animator Survival Kit, and based on this, I'm going to animate it. I'm sure a lot of people are using this as a reference. I could use the video reference, but for this, especially for beginners, I think using reference video could be hard for work. So, and also usually people starting from their contact pose, so which means you can consult this. I mean, I'm just going ahead and then start animating it, but you can see this This is contact pose. People usually animate contact pose first, and then the maybe going down second, and then going up and then up. So up pose is the highest pose, and then here um, the lowest pose will be this going down pose. Okay, after contact. So in the very beginning, I'm going to go to the frame 1, and what I do is I animate this. I will decide the width of the the step, right? And then to make it fully contact. I'm sorry about the noise. I'm going to I'm going to do this, and then maybe this is a little wide, and also it's good exercise. Also, if you're not used to, it is a good idea using a orthographic view, and then maybe, oops, press 7. Oh, this is not fully turning on to, is that the, something is on? I'm not quite sure. Um, well, anyway, you can do that, or, okay, so I'm going to go here, and then I'm going to use the, see which one is, I think it's ball roll, or maybe toe roll. Which one is what I need, to do this. And then because it's contact pose, and which is the heel of your front foot is touching, and this ones should be like this, and then I'm going to animate slightly back, because if you see it here, see, so, and maybe this is a little bit too up. So I'm going to adjust that. And then there's a lot of noise, please forgive me, because so, and then I'm going to set up the keyframes here, and then I'm going to go to the frame 25, not 24, because 24 is 1 frame shorter than a full 1 second. So, and then here in the frame 25, I'm going to set up the key for foot control, and then also hip control. I should also rotate and all that stuff, hips, I mean for the hips, but I'm not going to worry about it. And I may have to readjust the positions of the legs, so I'm going to make it slightly bent instead of this, completely straight, because then if I make it too straight, if I adjust the hips rotation slightly, it will be overextended, and then it could ruin. And then I'm going to make sure that the first frame and the last frame has exactly same key. If by mistake, if you miss that and then forget setting up the keyframe on either side, you can just copy this. I mean later on if you find it, and you can copy keyframe, and then right click, and here copy, and then paste, right click and paste the keyframe. So, and then I'm going to go to the frame 13. I think that's the middle, exactly middle, if you are doing I think so. If not, then we can adjust it later. So I'm going to set up the keyframes for this one, because it should be the same height for the because it's exactly same position, it's contact pose, but for the different foot, it's a reversed foot position. So I'm going to make it like switching the two keyframes. So it was like this. In the beginning, it was like this, if you see it, and then if you go to frame 13, it will look like this. So, and then I'm going to go back, and then I'm going to make this one to be 0, and then also this one to be 0. So go back to the almost like a default pose, and then I'm going to adjust it again. It should be this one, right? And then this should be no, like this. So, and then you can kind of match if you want to put 3.7. So you don't have to be exactly the same, but if you want that, then you can kind of match, and then also just translate G, copy that, and then paste here. So we can kind of matching the also. You don't have to exactly make it same, but you know, but it could be also easier to control later. Then 9. Okay. So this is and then I'm going to set up the keyframes for everything here, just in case. And then okay, that looks good. Okay, if I play back, that's all they do, right? So and then I'm going to go to frame 4 maybe. So it's gonna take the 3 frames to be low pose, and then the first thing I do, of course, I make this one somehow it's in the air. I think it's because these ones working together. So if you set them to be 0, you will see it's full contact. And then this one, I think it should be, this one should be 0, but it should be a toe roll like this one. And then if you see it here, this doesn't look good. So what I do is I think it should keep the distance. So I copy this. I mean it should be happening in the same if you see what I mean. It doesn't, when it goes down and goes up, the width between two, I don't think it becomes shortened, if you know what I mean. So for this one as well, I copy this value and then put it in there. And then for this one, I'm going to make it coming down. But in this case, I talk about that later, but maybe because the center of the body is a little bit off. So either I make it forward or I should move this foot a little backwards. But which could be look a little weird. But for now, it's okay. So it's gonna do that. So let's see. Okay, let's see. And then this one also fully contact. And then also this one. Oh, oh, mistake. Oh, and then same thing here. I move 3 frames later. I go to 3 frames later, and then turn this one to be 0. Excuse me. Turn to 0, and then this one to be also toe roll. If you want to be exact, then an exact match between two foot, then you can go here and then set up like that. And then for this one, also I want to keep that the same distance, so same width of the steps. But some people do that, some people don't. I find very weird, but you will see some people don't do that, so it's up to you, I guess, in this case. And then this one also I copy this one and then go here, 3 frames later, and then set it up like that. So if I do this, so now it becomes kind of like a walk already. And then I'm going to go here, and this foot we will have to adjust the all these all these keyframes that we set up. Later we need to clean them, but for now also this part should be the foot should be completely flat on the ground. And for that matter, we know that should happen like 3 frames later after the fully going down. And then I'm going to adjust the height. I'm not going to go too high at this moment, because I want to also be able to adjust a little bit later. So, and then for the other foot, the other side, I copy and paste that value for the to keep the in the same height. And then for the this foot also should be completely flat on the ground. So let's see. It's very mechanical. I don't like it a bit, but at least it has all the necessary motions. And then for after then, we can go and slightly this foot up because this pose should be highest. And then I'm going to copy this. This one is up pose, and then I do that. So now it's a bit the work is hard to animate. So I'm going to push a little bit forward to make it have better um, the center, and then I'm going to do that to this frame as well for the down pose. And then maybe that's a little too much. I don't know yet because I'm going to make also other adjustments, and then I'm going to go to the uh, animation and graph editor and see. Okay, so I'm going to go and get rid of this, and then you will see later why. But also I'm going to make it flow. Okay, make it flow. What I mean by that is this part and this part. You see, it should be like this. But then this curve is kind of abrupted, and this will continue to this curve. If you see later, just to show you right now. Once the work cycle is set, we're gonna set up the post infinity with cycle, and then if you see infinity, now you see this part. Keep the curve is really not nice. So in order to change that, I'm going to make this part a little more smooth. So then now it's changing, right? And also this part, so I'm going to put it into cycle, and then infinity is already on. So this part should be okay. But then let's see if these curves should look like this, and it's coming down. Maybe also I should change it to cut up the because it's like it should be like a bouncing ball. So when it's going down, it should be moving a little faster, and when it's going up, moving back because it's coming actually coming forward, but still it's coming forward because of the gravity. So and also this one, let's see, it's going up and down. I feel like this should be translate y, right? Going up and down. I think it should be more like a bouncing ball. So I'm going to break this part and also adjust the this curve. Look more like a kind of like bouncing ball. Right? When it's going down, coming down, it should be getting a little faster and going up a little slower. Okay. So if I see it from the perspective, and we see that snap, we have to also change that, right? I think it's because a little bit too high for this. Also, I'm going to make it a little. Okay. I think it's a little too high, so the legs are overextended, and I don't like it. And some, so now you have the this basic and also work cycle, and also I'm going to I will get into this to see the curves are right, and then translate G. Let's see. So it's going there. So this foot coming out, and then let's see from the translate Y first. Oops, sorry about that. Oh, actually, translate Y doesn't really do anything because we are using the foot roll and everything. So in that case, mm, we will see the heel roll, which is the this, right? So maybe it should be faster, just like the same. Maybe it's pushing. So let's see. It could be easing out. This one, however, pegging. You know what? I'm going to make this one break and then change this part like this. And so for this one, oops, the hero. This one I'm going to do. Oh, which one did I do? Um, so anyway, so like that, I will have to switch. I mean, change all these uh, the tangents of the motion and everything. It's still a little like a robotic, so I'll have to change all these you know all these tangents in graph editor. So I'm going to go. I'm going to make another parts later on, and I'm going to also share different ways